Hey guys, welcome to the Great Premiere. My name is Rex, and today we're going to be reviewing the third episode of Mandalorian Season 1. And I gotta be honest with you, I don't know if it's because I'm just so used to the Star Wars movies and them being so big in scope that when I watched this episode of Mandalorian, it kind of felt small to me. Like, it felt unimportant and inconsequential, and like I didn't really need to know what was happening. You could ask yourself, do you really ever need to know what's happening in a fictional universe? But I would say, yes, you should feel invested in the story, and I just didn't really feel that invested in this episode, to be honest. I kind of liked episode 2 more, to be honest. And the reason I think that episode 2 is better is because that in episode 2 of The Mandalorian, and this is gonna sound silly, but there was actual danger in that episode. Like the Mudhorn was a freaking scary creature, you know? Like, it was kicking the Mandalorian around in that mud pit, and like I wasn't scared that the Mandalorian was gonna die, but I was like, man, that looks painful. But I didn't really feel that with this episode because the Mandalorian just kept shooting people left and right, and he never really felt any resistance. No pun intended. So yeah, there was no real conflict in this episode, and also it was kind of predictable. Like, for instance, in the beginning of the episode, the Mandalorian brought in Baby Yoda to the guy, and the guy just took him, and then the Mandalorian left. And I was like, really? Is that it? You're really just gonna give up Baby Yoda that easily? I did not believe that that was the end of that story arc at all. Like, especially when they showed the shot of the Baby Yoda being hauled off by that random stormtrooper and Baby Yoda was crying. Like, I knew, okay, you're just not gonna let this go. This is gonna come up again at the end of the episode. I literally predicted it in my mind that the Mandalorian was gonna come back like 10 to 20 minutes later and kill all those guys and rescue Baby Yoda from that place. And lo and behold, my prediction was right. That's another thing that I didn't really like about this episode, and also there was a lot of death in this episode, and the death really didn't mean anything. It was just like pointless killing. There was one moment that I liked though, when the Mandalorian was electrocuting that stormtrooper and like all of the electricity was going over his body and it looked really cool. I liked that part. But especially with that sequence in like the storage facility, I don't really know what it was, but when the Mandalorian was killing all those stormtroopers, I was like, really? We're going back to this? We're going back to this shtick that the stormtroopers are bad at everything and they're so easy to kill? Like, I thought that was just a trope for the movies. I thought we were supposed to move on from that. And I really didn't feel any tension or anything at all during that scene. And this episode was like really quick too. Like, I remember when the shootout started happening, like half an hour into it, I was like, oh man, is this really over already? And like, it was, like, that was the climax of the entire episode, and it didn't really feel like it. It didn't feel long enough. And again, the shootout wasn't really that intense. I didn't really believe that the Mandalorian was in any danger. I was like, the Mudhorn in episode 2 posed more danger than all of those people trying to shoot the Mandalorian combined. And another thing, I think it was kind of a mistake to have the main character of this dramatic TV show be a person in a mask and barely have any lines of dialogue, and the lines of dialogue that he does have, he doesn't show any emotion whatsoever. I just think it was a mistake to do that. Like, and I know the Mandalorian is like really important in all the Star Wars books and stuff, but I think it was a mistake. I think we should have started with like someone new, just like a character that we've never seen before, a human character, and it would have been great to have seen their face, you know, and just to seen their expressions and just to see them act, you know? I don't know, those are just my thoughts on episode 3. I really did like the soundtrack though, but I guess that's not really independent to the third episode, is it? Yeah, I do like the soundtrack. I like the music. I like that, like, the flute theme that plays every so often. I forget how it goes, but like the wind instrument that like you hear every so often. I like that part, and I like the end credits music. That music is really good. So anyway, those are my thoughts. I think I'm going to give this probably a 3 out of 10. I know that's probably gonna anger some of you, but I don't know. I wasn't invested. Maybe in the future there will be something more exciting, like when Gus Fring comes into the show. I'm looking forward to that. Thanks so much guys for watching. My name is Rex. This has been The Great Premiere. See you next time.